I don't need weapons. I am the weapon.
You again, stranger. Do you tire of the hunt? I think not. So, do we have an accord? Then you will face the beasts again.
Getting into 2 Point Hospital is sort of like meeting someone really charming and funny, then after a while being pleasantly surprised to find they're also really smart. The readable, disarming art style and chuckle-worthy fictional diseases that make patients think they're Freddie Mercury or simply turn into a clown complement a layer of deep strategic problem solving. Each of the 15 hospitals you're asked to manage across 2 Point County offered its own unique objectives and challenges, lending a welcome variety to the core routine of diagnosing and curing patients to increase reputation and turn a profit. The layout of a facility has a large impact on the problem solving, as it's crucial to fit in diagnostic facilities, wards for long-term care, employee amenities, and specialists required to treat some of the wackier and more severe ailments. And there needs to be enough space left over for patients and staff to navigate between those hotspots. It's a system that requires plenty of planning and rewards clever use of space. And the layer cake just builds from there. Hiring and training staff with an eye toward how their proficiencies and personality traits will affect their job performance is another ongoing challenge. It builds up the personality of your staff and adds relatable, though sometimes absurd, human drama to the mix. You may end up with a Gregory House who's a superstar at diagnosing tricky illnesses but doesn't get along with his coworkers and has no bedside manner to speak of. Is he worth hiring over a general practitioner with a heart of gold who doesn't know measles from the common cold? There is often no single right answer to these kinds of conundrums, which grants you some freedom in what you want to prioritize. The parade of unwell patients streaming in also provides quite a bit of genuine amusement purely from the whimsical nature of their ailments. A poor soul with animal magnetism has to have an assortment of furry creatures blasted off of them in this slapstick procedure. Some will come in with cases of lightheadedness requiring a full head replacement. A lot of character and attention to detail went into the animations for the various treatments, and the huge list of illnesses led to me continually being surprised and entertained by whatever ridiculous epidemic I might have to tackle next. Each hospital's unique set of concerns helps keep things from getting too stale. Some areas of the county require heating or air conditioning units to keep the temperature at a comfortable level, which made me rethink how I laid out rooms and corridors. One level, set at a university, gives you only inexperienced applicants for all staff positions, forcing you to make use of the training classroom and build up a teaching hospital. Some gimmicks work better than others, though. A scenario in which I had to manage a hospital run by the Public Health Service sounded interesting at first, but the objectives I needed to complete to earn more funding from the county were sometimes cumbersome and nonsensical, like watering a certain number of plants or unclogging a certain number of toilets. Maybe the biggest reason I had such a good time with 2 Point Hospital, though, was that it does such a good job of making you aware of potentially non-obvious problems and offering advice on how to fix them. If there's some breakdown in the supply chain of admission, diagnosis, treatment, and discharge, large readable icons help you pinpoint exactly where the bottleneck is. Pop-up hints continually remind you of things you may be neglecting, like staff training, though they could start to feel a bit spammy at times. The one place where this breaks down a bit is when a problem is caused by your layout. In one level, I had staff deeply unhappy because they'd been holding their morning coffee for several weeks, and I was only able to discover through trial and error that the narrowness of my hallways was causing the AI to glitch out and lose the ability to find what I had intended to be a conveniently accessible employee bathroom. 2 Point Hospital revitalizes the business management genre with flair, character, and enthusiasm. Easily understandable tips and icons make it relatively stress-free to get a working urgent care center running smoothly, while the potential for deep optimization through tweaking building layout and making wise hiring and training decisions leave plenty to munch on for the micromanagement lovers among us. If we're on the verge of another classic genre renaissance, this is a great first foot forward. For more management fun, check out our reviews of Stardew Valley and Overcooked 2. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
Trying to injure more than my pride, Merlin.
Apologies.
Hello, old friends. We have so much to discuss. Foolish Arthur Pendragon. Do you still trust your demonic advisor? His wicked magic led to Camelot's fall. Camelot, Olympus, both will bend to my will.
My name is Elise, and something wrong is happening to me. They said we can keep monsters at bay, but from the depth, they came my way. When time couldn't flow anymore, the shimmering sun faded beneath the shore. This is where the electricity of St. Exil is largely generated. "110 days. For 110 days, the calendar has stayed the same. This panel monitors the pressure within the turbines. Only the first one seems to be working correctly.
Unlike the phenomenal HBO miniseries that recapped the horrific events of 1986 with gripping realism, Chernobylite uses one of humankind's greatest catastrophes as a stepping-off point for a survival horror experience with a distinctly supernatural slant. After having around an hour of hands-on time with a pre-alpha build of the game, I'm certainly intrigued to see more of this stealth-driven shooter that derives just as much dread from the crackling of its Geiger counter as it does from its H.R. Geiger-esque enemies. Set 30 years after the disaster, Chernobylite puts you in the shoes of Igor, a physicist formerly employed at the Chernobyl nuclear plant, who returns to the disaster zone in search of his missing wife Tatiana. The opening of my hands-on demo had Igor infiltrating the bowels of the facility in order to extract a piece of Chernobylite, a product of the nuclear accident that, in the words of Igor, creates transcendental bijection of the space-time continuum. For those of us who aren't Stephen Hawking, that means the Chernobylite is able to power Igor's portal gun in order to teleport between areas via a singularity bubble. In my demo, the use of this portal gun seemed to be restricted to returning Igor back to his base after completing a mission. But theoretically, it could have time travel or trans-dimensional uses later on in the game. The second half of my demo was a mission in the Moscow Eye, a forest-covered area of Chernobyl set at the foot of an enormous radar system. This level was much more open than the nuclear plant, giving me the freedom to explore a variety of abandoned facilities and streets reclaimed by nature, interacting with side characters, suffering apparent hallucinations, and encountering alien enemies that seem to slip in and out of the area via the same wormholes employed by Igor. I opted to quietly avoid these otherworldly beings entirely, since I had enough of a fight on my hands against the NAR soldiers patrolling the area. Stealth takedowns were the order of the day against these human enemies, because the only weapon at my disposal was a somewhat rickety revolver. Downed enemies do drop more powerful firearms such as carbine assault rifles, but Igor, since they're apparently locked to each soldier's genetic code. The Biolock Disabler itself may well be a tool that you can craft in Chernobylite, and in fact you can use all manner of resources gathered out and about in the exclusion zone to create tools and build furnishings for Igor's base. It's from this base that you choose your next mission, as well as allocate side missions for your companions to complete on your behalf. Back at the base you can also study the clues you've collected that point to Tatiana's whereabouts, as well as decide which companion you want to spend earned mentor points with in order to improve Igor's skills. According to the developers, player choice is also paramount when it comes to Chernobylite's storyline, but my short time with the game only served to hint at the sorts of decisions on offer without implicitly portraying the more lasting consequences. The main story quest I played culminated in a decision between destroying the towering Dugar radar with explosives or letting it stand and instead using it to mind control the people in the Moscow Eye area. Here's how the former choice played out, and here's the latter. Since the demo ended shortly thereafter, I have little idea of the wider ramifications for either outcome. Still, it's the potential of its player-influenced narrative combined with the authenticity of its setting and its intriguing supernatural skew that could allow Chernobylite to stand shoulder to shoulder with the likes of the Stalker and Metro series when it arrives in Steam Early Access later this year. For more Chernobylite, check out the Gamescom 2019 demo. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
We've been thinking a long time about our next title. It's been something at the forefront of our minds for the last 6 years. Our game is like some sort of neon candy dream, pick and mix. It's something that should make people grin when they see it. We want them to get lost in this sort of skate utopia that we've created.
We've had so much fun developing this kind of bizarre cast of characters. Some that will come alongside you as you go on your road trip, and others that you'll meet along the way. It's about taking all the elements that we give you, that we teach you throughout the game, and then you being able to combine them into something really creative and something really expressive. Ultimately, this is a game about flow.
We're making a game that's welcoming to everyone, but one that challenges people at their level.
We've developed a whole new world which you don't just skate by, you skate through. It's super unique in its look, and it's got these weird and wonderful people that live there and these crazy things that you'll discover. We've added a ton of new mechanics. We've got quarter pipes, there are split routes and multiple paths through levels, there are wall rides, and there are tons of other cool new things to do on your board. We're super excited to be working on a new Ollie Ollie and really bringing everything that we've learned over the last 10 years about making these kind of games to make the best game we've ever made.
We really hope to capture the weird, wonderful and diverse sides of skate culture. We're amped to finally introduce Ollie Ollie World, and we really can't wait to share so much more with you in the future.
In the second era of the human empire, sonic matter was discovered in the galaxy of Neteron. It was here that humans decided to build the Metal Mother facility to harvest the sonic matter, the most precious element in the universe. But it wasn't long before they discovered they were not alone.
When it comes to crime solving, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 does not mess around. Whether I was investigating a crime scene, interviewing a person of interest, or drawing conclusions that would determine someone's guilt or innocence, Chapter 1 absolutely never held my hand. If I missed some critical pieces of evidence and accused the wrong person of murder, oh well, an innocent man goes to prison and I get to walk around thinking I've delivered justice.
How could she do this?
If I found someone committed murder but decided to let them go free anyway, that was totally my prerogative. This complete lack of any kind of safety net or morality system to nudge me in one direction or another was a breath of fresh air that made my short time with Chapter 1 far more interesting than a straightforward adventure game. After all, I'm supposed to be the world's most brilliant mind and a masterful detective. Why shouldn't I be expected to put the pieces together myself or fail in the effort? Even though Chapter 1 takes place during Holmes's early days as a 21-year-old upstart, Sherlock seems ever confident in his knack for observation and reasoning in the section I played, and the short introductory quest immediately required me to put those skills to the test. With my childhood friend John at my side, I dove into a murder mystery involving a mystifying seance and characters with secret pasts and hidden motives. In one section, I used my enhanced talent for observation to discover which person in a crowd had a military background, and in another, I eavesdropped on some gossip to learn about a scandalous affair. Many steps and clues in the investigation were missable if I didn't notice a detail or made an error in logic, which could lead me down a path to unknowingly identifying the wrong killer. And unless I made a habit out of saving and reloading as often as possible, Chapter 1 did nothing to nudge me in the right direction. And I appreciate that about it.
Can you describe the thief for me?
That said, sometimes Chapter 1's odd way of presenting information and somewhat clunky menus led to errors that felt unearned, while others happened organically as I missed a beat somewhere along the way. Either way, I was expected to figure it out or suffer the consequences, and that's the beauty of Chapter 1. Nailing a puzzle and feeling like an erudite sleuth is awesome precisely because it feels so well earned.
It seems there may have been an unexpected visitor outside the window.
On the other hand, making a mistake often left me in disbelief at just how little the game cared if I was successful or not. All the while, John followed me around making notes in his diary as his opinion of me shifted based on my performance. The fact that Sherlock is young and perhaps a little more cocky than he should be serves Chapter 1 well, because either he's young and still brilliant as ever, or he's overconfident and has a lot to learn. With my success or failure, I got to decide which Sherlock I was. And in a world where lots of games make you feel like you're bowling with bumpers on, this level of freedom was incredibly refreshing, even when it felt a bit harsh.
Your best strategy now is to confess and hope your reasons were justified.
The small glimpse I got of Chapter 1's open-world island of Cordona felt equally unrestrictive. With optional side quests, locations, and events I can take in at my own pace, the prospect of a brutally Darwinistic open-world crime-solving game is incredibly appealing. But because my time in the open-world aspect of Chapter 1 was so limited, it remains to be seen if something so ambitious can even work. I'm sure a lot of learnings from the developer's previous game, The Sinking City, will be applied. Either way, it's piqued my curiosity quite a bit, and I'm excited to see if they can pull it off. For more on Sherlock Holmes, don't miss the official gameplay reveal trailer, and for everything else in the world of video games, keep snooping around IGN.
Still raging 26 years later, Streets of Rage 4 is a faithful revival of the classic arcade beat-em-ups. Move from left to right, punch enemies, destroy objects for points, health and weapon pickups, punch a few more enemies, and repeat. It's simple and unadventurous, and while it expands modestly on the combat with a few new skills to master, Streets of Rage 4 definitely prioritises nostalgia over any kind of big modern reinvention. The plot is wafer thin and predictably corny, but it is beautifully presented in a comic book panel style. Mr. and Miss Y, the twin offsprings of series villain Mr. X, are the big bads this time, and their evil scheme is to control the city by corrupting everything good, while looking like a couple of subpar Scott Pilgrim villains. It's all very silly, but in a knowing, not taking itself seriously kind of way, and it just about pulls it off. It's 10 years since the events of Streets of Rage 3, and series regular Axel Stone and Blaze Fielding returned to fight crime again, despite likely being too old for this shit. To balance out the familiar with something different is the addition of 2 brand new characters, Cherry Hunter, the daughter of series stalwart Adam Hunter, and a cybernetic armed absolute unit called Floyd. Just like in the old games, each character has a special move that does a lot more damage at the cost of taking a chunk out of your own health bar. However, an added risk-reward twist for Streets of Rage 4 is that any lost health can potentially be earned back if you string a combo of standard attacks together on top of it, and any break in this combo results in the health being lost permanently. On my first playthrough, which took between 2 and 3 hours, I found myself avoiding special moves due to their risky nature. However, as I got the hang of combos, I started to use them semi-regularly in situations where I felt confident that I could earn that precious health back. It's a simple but interesting minigame, and perhaps the most important addition in progressing the Streets of Rage formula as a whole. A stronger weapon in your arsenal are the star moves. Every character's is slightly different. Axel's, for instance, is a flaming rising uppercut, while Cherry's is a Pete Townsend inspired guitar power slide, but triggering them would do huge amounts of damage to any Y Syndicate members and lucky enough to be in your path. Using them while fighting regular goons often feels unnecessary, as most situations are manageable, but they're still a fun spectacle, with Floyd's screen-dominating Unibeam being a visual favourite. Another enjoyable addition to the combat is the inclusion of the weapon catch maneuver. Throw any weapon at an enemy and, if it makes contact, it will bounce back and give you a split second to catch it and keep whacking away. Like Gears of War's active reload time button press mechanic, there's a rhythm to master, but once you've done so, it's completely rewarding. However, for every moment of feeling like a deadly ninja, there are moments that are simply unfair due to factors completely out of your control. Of the 4 starting characters, the returning duo of Axel and Blaze immediately felt familiar and fit right into place in the 90s side-scrolling beat-em-up, but they do feel a little generic at this point. They're both well-rounded fighters who don't necessarily excel in any ability, but work best as an introductory character for new players and a recognisable sight for veterans. But by contrast, Floyd and Cherry couldn't be further apart, and their movesets are by far the most exciting and fun to play. Cherry Hunter, despite carrying a guitar on her back, can move at a significant speed, which is literally a nice change of pace to the other characters, and that made her my preferred choice in my first playthrough. Her ability to sprint and weave through attacks feel more in line with what I expect a modern Streets of Rage would play like, which is also why I was initially disappointed with how sluggish the other characters felt in comparison. Floyd, for instance, is by far the slowest character, but I soon appreciated what he lacked in speed is compensated for in strength. His ability to toss enemies around like ragdolls eventually won me round and had me experimenting with different playstyles. The music sets the tone and definitely feels on brand with the iconic beats of the series, although I'd have to say in the era of game soundtracks like Hotline Miami and the recent Final Fantasy VII Remake, they don't quite hit the same sort of I can't get this track out of my brain status, or even its predecessors. All 12 levels predictably end in a boss fight, and for the most part, there's a good balance of variety and difficulty throughout. Most are smartly designed, with challenging attack patterns that you'll need to learn. But disappointingly, there are repeated enemies in later levels with arbitrary difficulty spikes, like here's 2 of them now. In general though, the enemies are a good mix of old and new, with neither feeling out of place despite the 26-year age gap. I played through the first time alone, but that was only half the fun. Less, even. The 2-player online co-op really shines through with the intensity and chaos increased. It also made me fully appreciate the potential character combos and the satisfaction of perfectly executing a tandem move. If you're looking for longevity, 2-player co-op is where it's at. Streets of Rage 4 also has local 4-player co-op, but due to the current isolation circumstances, I was unable to try it. Beyond the campaign and its 5 difficulty levels, Mania is exactly what it sounds like. Other options are the boss rush mode, arcade, which is basically the story mode with a consistent life count, and a PvP battle mode to mess around with. But frankly, the story mode satisfies those combat itches far better than any of these other modes, and if you're playing alone, there's little replayability on offer. One thing Streets of Rage 4 does offer, however, is a wealth of nostalgic choices, such as the retro Streets of Rage 1 and 2 soundtrack and old CRT filters. It takes a little grinding to unlock, but there's also a lifetime point system that gives access to faithfully recreated, playable characters from previous entries in the series, and there's also a modern version of Adam who unlocks during the story. These aren't just skins either, these characters have their own movesets, animations, and sound effects. Despite contrasting against the lush, cartoon-like world of Streets of Rage 4, these retro characters fit nicely into the combat loop and help reinforce how the latest installment reignites that passion for the series through nostalgia. In fact, they're so accurately recreated that annoyingly the characters from Streets of Rage 1 don't even have special moves and must solely rely on their basic star moves from the original. As a result, they feel at odds with the new risk-reward system, and it pretty much renders them unusable on the harder difficulties. In a way, this feels like a metaphor for the entire game. Instead of taking bolder steps to modernise the formula, Streets of Rage 4 sticks rigidly to the past for little more than nostalgia's sake. Streets of Rage 4 delivers the greatest hits of the classic series, and is at its best when played with friends. If the primary focus was delivering a traditional Streets of Rage experience with a modern coat of paint, then it absolutely succeeds. But while it layers on a few new and interesting mechanics, it's still a very conservative update to a quarter-century-old format that feels like a slave to the past.
Montpellier, Barcelona, and Dubuque. All gone in a day.
I thought we agreed to be quiet.
Calm down, man.
Impressive! Let's burn some Zeke. Swarm coming from the street!
Stay on your feet this time.
There's too many to continue.
Work together. It's our best chance.
What the fuck? Let's go! Ready for the battle. Catch this!
That was really something.
What's the last thing you remember?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
What if you discovered a city long forgotten? A place only rumored in ancient myth and legend. Its beauty unimaginable. Its laws ruthless.
Leave us.
What if you uncovered a terrible past?
Who's responsible for this?
It was him, I swear.
If one person here commits a sin, everyone will die.
An unspeakable atrocity. And a way to rewrite history.
I found a window into the past, and I'm reliving the same day over and over.
How many rules would you break to undo a great evil? To ascend into legend.
Welcome to 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition. Of course, 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition comes absolutely jam-packed with a game that you know and love. The game that lets you manage a hospital, that lets you diagnose and treat your patients, that lets you decorate to your heart's content. But it also comes with much, much more. That's right, Jumbo means lots. Lots of content. Like the Bigfoot, Pebbly Island, Close Encounters, and off-the-grid expansions. Champion! There's more hospital content than you can shake a stick at. Trust me, I've tried. So, 2-point hospital, anyone? Make mine jumbo.
Hi, I'm voice actor Stephen Kelly, and I'll be your guide in this gameplay preview of The Forgotten City. So far, we've built our custom character and discovered the ruins of an ancient Roman city littered with these eerie golden statues. But this mysterious portal keeps calling to us, so let's see where it takes us. Here we are 2,000 years in the past, in the year 65 AD. This ancient Roman fellow appears to be a living version of the golden statue we saw in the future. Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're... Well, he sounds oddly familiar, but let's just skip by him for now. The game is a murder mystery set in an ancient Roman city. All of its inhabitants live in fear of the Golden Rule, a mysterious curse which means if even one person commits a sin, every last one of them will die, turned into golden statues. Of course, since we've just come from the future where we saw that the city is full of golden statues, we know for certain that someone is going to break the Golden Rule.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Our job, if we're up to it, is to solve the ancient mystery of who's behind this. And since the game has multiple endings, the fate of the city is entirely in our hands. If you've ever wondered what it might be like to walk among ancient Romans, you're in for a treat. The developers worked with a couple of historical consultants, experts on ancient Roman history and archaeology, to depict an ancient Roman city as authentically as possible. They've captured the art, architecture, costumes, and customs of the century AD.
Fresh meat, huh?
For example, here are the public bathrooms, complete with cleaning sticks for communal use. Let's put that back down, shall we? But this is no walking simulator, so let's start a quest. During your investigation, you'll interrogate a community of unique suspects, each with their own personalities, motivations, secrets, relationships, and quests. Of course, we'll soon discover we're in a Groundhog Day-style time loop, which we can cleverly exploit by talking to them, winding back time, then talking to them again, and using knowledge you couldn't possibly have had the first time round. But for now, let's talk to Decius.
You there! I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but notice that fine bow you're carrying. No idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our dear old magistrate's ban, but I'm impressed. And before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. I have no use for a wooden bow myself. But I would like to propose a joint business venture of sorts.
Decius is an unscrupulous Roman merchant. Right now, he's asking us to help him get a mythical golden bow from the shrine of the goddess Diana by replacing it with this fake substitute. He definitely seems a little shady, but getting this bow seems worth the risk. Let's move towards Diana's shrine. As some of you may know, the goddess Diana, who the Greeks called Artemis, was the goddess of the hunt and famously carried a golden bow, and we are going to steal that bow. It seems that some hornets have decided to make a nest here. Hornets are dangerous, of course, but we'll be in and out of here so quickly it probably won't be a problem. So, Decius said we need to extinguish the braziers before taking the bow. Let's do that. And now we can safely take the bow. That was a little too easy. Now, back to Decius.
Is that you, partner? Do you have the bow? Wonderful. Just go ahead and slide it under the door for me and I'll unlock it for you. A little bit slow, aren't you? Yes, I locked you in. And until you give me my bow, you're gonna stay in there, like Tantalus in Tartarus. No, technically, I never said that. I said, if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, infinite wealth is still infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between a hypothetical and a promise, now is it? Oh, I do love a good loophole. You're just gonna have to take your chances, I'm afraid. The bow, now. And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognise my own handiwork. I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're stuck in there with a hornet's nest, and they can be rather aggressive toward intruders. You know, some say it takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man, but I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out how many it takes to kill a woman, shall we?
Ah, okay. Curse this sudden but inevitable betrayal. We are now locked in the temple with an angry hornet's nest. We need to think about how to find a way out. Let's follow the voice's instructions. Now apparently this bow turns anything organic into gold, so... Yes! It worked! This looks like our only way out. Sorry for busting up your shrine, Diana. In case you missed it, The Forgotten City is a reimagining of a mod from a popular fantasy game. In fact, it was the first mod in history to win a Writers Guild Award and was downloaded more than 3 million times. So, the original modder, Nick Pierce, assembled a game studio, Modern Storyteller, to redevelop it into the standalone game you're currently seeing. Alright, it seems we can't get through this way. But again, if this bow turns organic matter into gold, let's try shooting the layer of algae on top of the water. Perfect. In the Forgotten City, you'll alternate between phases of investigate, talk to people and try to unearth their secrets, and exploration phases asking you to solve puzzles like this one. Of course, puzzles and gameplay mechanics aren't the only new additions to the Forgotten City. Everything about the mod has been leveled up. There's a slew of new quests with multiple solutions, unexpected new twists and turns, and 4 different all-new endings. If you like the mod, you're going to love the standalone game. Looks like we've escaped the cave and found our way into an abandoned palace. Who knows what is awaiting us next? But that is for another time. Thank you so much for watching this preview. The Forgotten City is coming this July to PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, and Switch. If you'd like to be notified when it's out, please wishlist on Steam. I hope you have fun unraveling the mysteries of the Forgotten City.
World War Z's competent but basic co-op shooter gameplay provides a good venue for a group of 4 friends to get together, topple massive zombie herds, maybe save a few survivors here and there, and laugh about it when the results roll in. There's nothing revolutionary or even that remarkable about World War Z, but the formula it so rigidly follows is proven to be fun. Comparisons between World War Z and the Left 4 Dead series are more than justified. Unavoidable, even. The 11 linear gauntlet missions in World War Z involve completing a series of simple tasks that effectively promote teamwork and communication, especially during jam-packed zombie attacks. Weapons, ammunition, and healing items are evenly scattered about levels, especially as rewards for those who take initiative to explore. For defensive objectives, you're given about a minute to decide where to deploy machine guns and traps while deliberating about your overall strategy before the zombies come pouring out of every opening, crack, and crevice. Naturally, there are 4 special types, like the pouncing lurker, who pins you down and needs to be knocked off by a teammate. Much of World War Z's arsenal of weapons come across as a bit bland, with the one exception being the fun-to-use and hard-to-find crossbow. Its arrows pack an explosive tip that sends small groups of zombies flying into the air after a satisfying detonation. It's a blast to use, but sadly it's one of the few items to offer an exciting way to deal with the undead. World War Z does distinguish itself in its choice of settings, at least. Running through the snowy landscapes and eerie museums of Moscow brings a refreshing vibe to the typical undead battles. The streets of Tokyo and dilapidated subway entrances of New York are pretty and detailed depictions of post-apocalyptic despair and destruction. The panicked sight of zombies floating over the rooftops of buildings, trampling over each other in a fit of relentless motion is visually fascinating. Seeing swarms of zombies just to get up to your location is a sight to see, especially since it's a staple of the World War Z movie universe and one that helps it stand out from other zombie shooters. World War Z is very keen on making sure you're playing with actual human players. If you're down even one person, you'll be teamed up with a bot. And just like in Left 4 Dead, these AI dummies have a bad habit of straying too far from the team, getting stuck, and being left behind in certain rooms. That said, the zombie AI feels right and responsive, especially during stealthy moments where a missed headshot from your pistol can alert nearby enemies.
That's a good sign.
One notable area where it adds to Valve's tried and true blueprint is a class and progression system that lets you specialize in certain areas like gun damage, melee, explosives, or you can be a medic and level up their abilities. Differences in classes are minimal and primarily dictate the weapons you start with, but they also assign an unchangeable special item that helps set your role within your group, which is especially important on higher difficulties. Testing out different special items and upgrading them is alluring at first, but the appeal is slowly lost when it becomes a grind to unlock something like an increase to the blast radius of C4. A lack of cloud saves on PC makes it harder to commit to the long grind. But because all 11 missions can be completed in a swift 5 hours, the expectation of playing with improved weapons and increasing the difficulty sadly doesn't hold for too long. There are only so many times you can wait for the boat to reel in or escort the bus of survivors before it gets overly repetitive. Had the enormous hordes of zombies in World War Z felt a little less calculated and more unpredictable, like the undead in Left 4 Dead, perhaps replaying levels would feel more diverse. A very ordinary competitive multiplayer mode exists outside the main campaign. One cool twist is that zombie swarms occasionally run through maps when you're playing Deathmatch or King of the Hill. Surprisingly, that's not a nuisance, but also not enough to keep a shooter this simple interesting for long. The finest way to experience World War Z is to fire up your microphone and find yourself a 4-person crew to play through the brief but fun campaign. It's rare to see it go beyond the roots of its very clear inspiration, and there's not a whole lot of variety when it comes to the missions, the special zombies, or the weapons, but what is there works and is enough to fill the Left 4 Dead shaped hole in our hearts for a little while at least. Thanks for watching. For more recent reviews, check out our reviews of Mortal Kombat 11 and Elder Scrolls Blades. And for everything else, stick with us right here at IGN. As a rule, portal guns make everything better. In the case of Splitgate Arena Warfare, the ability for every player to place 2 ends of a teleporter turns an otherwise average arena shooter into a smart, tactical, team-based game in which outthinking your opponents is more important than outgunning them. It just doesn't do a great job of putting its best maps in the forefront for new players, which may be contributing to a downward spiral of problems stemming from low server populations. It deserves better.
Kill control. Kill contested.
You start each 4v4 round of Domination, King of the Hill, or Team Deathmatch with a portal gun that can place 2 portals on shiny blue surfaces spread around the map, allowing you to instantly pass between them or even shoot through one to hit an enemy standing near the other. It's more than just a gimmick, because these portals give you far more tactical options than in your average arena shooter. You can flank enemies, escape danger, or just reposition to a better vantage point, even if marked positioning. Adding a portal gun to what would have been a mediocre arena shooter is an inspired move, because otherwise all of these low recoil weapons are uninspired analogs to guns that have appeared in other arena shooters, split them apart. The large multi-level maps have lots of elevated buildings and platforms that you can reach by holding space to activate your jetpack, but they too are mostly forgettable. It's satisfying when you can predict an enemy's movements, setting up your portals to get an easy kill. If you see an enemy heading for a control point, placing one portal in a safe spot and another overlooking the point will set up an ambush for when they arrive. You can shoot and pass through enemy as another set of decisions to make. If you jump through, you might be walking into a trap, or you might come out behind a straggler. Enemy portals flash when the other team is next to one of them, which is your cue to squeeze the trigger blindly. It's a smart way to stop players from camping in one spot. The way Splitgate encourages you to play the objective is clever too. Away from Deathmatch and Free-for-All, which have their own ranked playlists, getting bodies on a control point is often a bigger factor than landing headshots. Your ranking is based purely on wins and losses, which stops players peeling off and doing their own thing. What ends up sapping a lot of Splitgate's momentum is the fact that the maps look bland. Saw Stadium is fun on King of the Hill, but on Domination it simply doesn't work as well because the middle point is so exposed, which means it rarely changes hands. Splitgate also limits the maps you'll see in your first 10 hours or so outside of custom games, and the same ones crop up over and over again in ranked play for far too long. It's a shame the devs didn't include all the arenas from the start, because those higher level maps are the most interesting ones. Highwind is one of the best. It's a collection of pagodas with sloped roofs set against this patchy, and a few times the frame rate dropped for no apparent reason, causing unfair deaths. In several fights, both players died at exactly the same time, which shouldn't really happen unless you're dueling with guns that fire slow-moving projectiles. Perhaps because of these issues, Splitgate's player count now regularly dips below 1,000 concurrent players. That's too few to consistently create evenly matched teams in ranked play, and one side will often steamroll their opponents, causing one or more players to quit, which makes it even less fun for the losing side. You also have to wait as long as 5 minutes to find your next game, and sometimes matches are cancelled because too few players join, which kicks you back to the menu. But Splitgate is fun enough that its matches are worth waiting for, even if you have to requeue multiple times. Splitgate's portal guns turn what would have been a forgettable arena shooter into one of the smartest in years. It's let down by its drab maps that repeat too often in the first hours, and its current lack of players can make it hard to find an evenly matched game if you haven't brought your own teams. But it's fun, free, and its microtransactions are purely cosmetic. Most importantly, it proves that portals aren't just for puzzle games, they're at home in competitive shooters too. For more, check out 5 minutes of gameplay. And for other multiplayer games, check out our reviews of Mordau and World War Z. And for everything else, stick with us right here at IGN.
IGN Summer of Gaming. The biggest video game event of the year is now all summer long. From our IGN Expo loaded with exclusive gameplay and reveals, to exciting first looks at the hottest new games and in-depth developer interviews.
It's going to be awesome across the board.
IGN Summer of Gaming has it all. This year, we've condensed a metric ton of fresh trailers and never-before-seen gameplay into one sleek package. It's IGN Expo, and you're about to attend. Don't worry, there's no ticket price, barring whatever you're already paying for your internet connection. This is our special corner of the summer, and our chance to show off all the unique games that make up the greater gaming cosmos. So buckle in, because here come more games than you can shake a joystick at. IGN Expo starts now. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our very own IGN Expo. Now, this right here is the chillest place to be during this hot, hot summer of gaming. You see the way we're dressed? We're clearly here to have a good time. I'm Akeem Lawanchin, joined by my festive buddy, Brian Altano. And for the next hour, we're going to be bringing you exclusive first looks at upcoming video games that'll likely leave blisters on your thumbs from the sheer thought of playing them, Brian.
It's physically impossible to get blisters on your thumbs from thinking about something, but, you know, I believe in you. Your heart's in the right place. By all means, continue.
Brian, look, I gotta tell you, man, you don't tell me what's physically impossible, baby. Tell me about the games. You know, we're smack dab in the middle of summer gaming, IGN's all summer long game abrasion celebration. Now, yesterday, y'all saw Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest kickoff live. Tomorrow is the start of our E3 2021 coverage, and this right now, this thing that you're experiencing right now is our very own IGN Expo. It's the eye of the heat storm, and you know, well, we all want to know, baby. We all want to know.
I didn't get an Echo machine. Did they mail you one of those? Anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about the games. But first, just a teaser. You just got to look at the brand new Mortal Shell, the Virtuous Cycle DLC. And coming up, we've got numerous trailer reveals of upcoming titles, DLC, announcements, developer walkthroughs, and so much more. I'm actually not sure if we're allowed to spoil the surprise for you all. So let's just jump right into it and show you some exclusive game footage from Creed.
Games!
Two boxing giants are about to step into the ring tonight.
I'll go easy on you at first. I got this.
Let's do this.
That's a knockdown.
There is no tomorrow. Dead meat. I defeat all men.
Woo! Ready to feel the beat? Didn't take a single hit.
I did it!
I'm a killer, then I perfect it. I'm a killer, then I perfect it. Killer, then I perfect it.
The position of the inkwell indicates that the victim is left-handed. However, the bullet entered the right temple. That's strange. The goodbye letter was written while the victim's glasses were left untouched upon the nightstand. Who would want their final words to appear crooked? Traces of a long dress. Is a crime disguised a suicide? The maid? No. I have it. They belong to the priest who wanted to retain ownership of the land for his presbytery. The first case on this island is closed.
That's incredible, Sherlock. You always impress me. Well, did you really think that you could come to this island without getting a little dirty? That investigation was easy, but this personal mission that brought you here, you know it's nothing but pain and madness. I know it's not so far from what's already in your mind. But once the truth is revealed, will it help? Watch your step, Sherlock. This quest might soil more than your shoes. You're not ready for this investigation.
man, I gotta tell y'all what a block of awesome that was. I'm so excited for Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, especially as a man living in the middle of a pandemic. You know, I wouldn't mind having Monica in my reality these days, and I know I'm not alone. Actually, I am alone, which is why I want a video game character to come keep me company. But I am excited for that one. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Well, that Sherlock Holmes game looks pretty cool, and also as a man and living in the post-pandemic, I'd sure love to have a platonic business relationship with Watson to solve crimes and such, and hold hands. But let's keep this train going by tossing it to the developers over at Gearbox for a breakdown of the Wonderlands trailer. This new game is set in the Borderlands universe and inspired by Tiny Tina's tabletop adventures. Let's take a look at Wonderlands.
Roll for initiative, suckers!
Hey everybody, my name is Matt Cox and I'm the creative director of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and I'm thrilled to be able to go through this trailer with you today. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is an entirely new adventure set in an unpredictable fantasy world that's full of whimsy and wonder and high-powered weapons. Packed with fresh gameplay ideas, irreverent humor, a crazy story-driven adventure, and repeatable endgame content that you can enjoy with friends in co-op up to 4 players.
You cannot hide from fate.
So on your quest to defeat our main villain, the Dragon Lord, you're going to fight a variety of monsters, from shambling skeletons to, like this, sharks with legs. So designing for this chaotic brand of fantasy lets us run wild with our imagination. So you can expect some slightly warped takes on high fantasy. The awesome Gabe Kunda voices the mysterious figure that you hear in this trailer. Now, he's not the protagonist. Players can actually create and customize their own multi-class heroes in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Players won't literally customize their weapons, but you will collect a wide variety of loot and a wide variety of rarities. So you have guns, spells, melee weapons, and of course you'll have your skills that you can use, and then you'll be able to find loot like armor and amulets and more. Spells are a big part of our combat loop, and while it's true we do not have grenades in this game, we actually like to think of our spells more as mini skills because of their power and their variety of behaviors. Our cast is incredible. We have the headstrong Captain Valentine, the rule-obsessed robot Fret, and of course our tyrant villain Dragon Lord, and Tiny Tina, and they're all brought to life by these great actors. And of course, enter a magical diamond binacorn leaping in to save the day here. This speaks to the wild and irreverent humor in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Now, all of this takes place in a game within a game as players experience a round of bunkers and badasses, a chaotic fantasy tabletop adventure where anything can happen. The very unpredictable Tiny Tina makes the rules, she changes the world on the fly, and guides players on their epic fantasy journey. Now, a lot of the tone and humor in this story springs from this chaos. This takes place in Dragon Keep, but if you don't know what that means, that's okay, because this is a brand new adventure in a brand new world in the mind of Tiny Tina, playing bunkers and badasses. We absolutely love Tina and the crazy world that we're creating, and it's been an absolute joy working on this game. So we're very excited for everyone to share in this experience when it launches next year.
I think it should go without saying that Wonderlands looks wonderful. There, I said it, and I don't care who hears me say something so brave yet so controversial. Anyway, we've got more gaming goodness coming up on the IGN Expo when Summer of Gaming 2021 returns, so don't go anywhere. Don't. That's a threat. It's not a threat. I mean, it's just mildly nicely asking you don't go anywhere. But don't go anywhere. I have scissors, and I'll make a beautiful, beautiful card for you that says, don't go anywhere! We'll be right back.
IGN Summer of Gaming 2021 is presented by the Amazon original movie, The Tomorrow War, exclusively on Prime Video July 2nd, and powered by Duracell Optimum, the official battery sponsor of Summer of Gaming 2021, and presented by USAA Insurance, and Army National Guard. Pursue multiple paths while you serve. Reach your greatest potential with Army National Guard.
only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game, but what if you got a chance to peek into the mind of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work get completely destroyed right in front of them?
What is happening right now?
That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet. Tune in every Saturday for a brand new episode.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.
Welcome back to IGN Summer of Gaming Expo. I'm glad you stuck around and I didn't have to use these scissors. Time to get rid of them.
Give me that, man. You don't need those. Give them to me. What are you doing with these?
Anyway, let's check out some more trailers. Any guess on what we might see now, Akeem?
Well, you know what, Brad? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say exclusive gameplay trailers with a dash, just a dash of DLC. I want to see some DLC.
Wild guess. Well, let's DLC what we got.
Ooh.
It hurt. It hurt me. It hurt me to say it. Okay.
It should.
Physically hurt to say that joke. Physically. I need the scissors back.
know what you're thinking. Who is that gorgeous amphibian, and how can I be as successful as him? Well, I'll tell you, kiddo. You gotta come to Redlandia, the place of opportunity, where even the ice cream's dreams of hitting the big time. You see these guys? They've got that go-getting attitude, making it happen in the streets. And oh, the streets, kid! Forget paved with gold. Here, there's nothing but miles of the smoothest concrete ramps and grinds everywhere. Makes you want to grab your board and... Hold on, you can skate, right? Whatever, you pick it up! Or not. Look, it's fine. Your skills, my connections, ain't nothing we can't achieve. There's a whole world out there to discover. It's time to shine, my humanoid friend. Let's roll! Ollie World. Take a trip. Yeah, baby hopper. Big deals on tiny wheels. You need a board? You need a battery for that? Hello?
Brothers and sisters, you're hearing my voice because we have reached a crossroads in this war. We know now that no miracle is coming. That simply surviving is a slow death. That we will not win by holding our ground.
Our ranks have grown, our skills have sharpened, and our weapons are loaded. We have initiated a new strategy in Kamchatka.
Our forces are prepared to take back Rome.
We will not hide. There will be no retreat. Today we claw back from the brink. Today we make a stand.
Welcome back to IGN Expo! Yes, now you all just got a sneak peek of Sifu and World War Z Aftermath, among others. Now, I can ramble all day about how great those reveals were, but you know, why ramble when we got Bramble? Now, this upcoming game from Dimfrost Studio promises to take you deep within the dark and mysterious world of folklore. Let's take a look at Bramble the Mountain King. I gotta say, Brian, Bramble, that was something. I'm all in on this one. You can definitely, from now on, call me a brambling man.
Yeah.
Call me Bramble.
Okay. I mean, yeah, the game looks really awesome. I just feel like you're really excited about the repeated stabbing thing. That seems like you're honing in on that specifically. You seem very into that, which is odd.
It's got everything that you want in a solid video game. I thought it was really awesome. I'm really excited for it, Brian. Just tell what do we have next? Because I'm super excited, man. If Bramble was this damn good, we got to have something else coming up next that's just as equally, if not better.
Well, you know, whatever's up next, I think maybe we should pivot and have something with like considerably less chest stabbing. Maybe something like a little bit more chill, you know, something kind of relaxing.
So you mean like, how about this? How about like skating with birds? Like skateboards? Skateboarding birds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's very, very specific, but that would be super chill. Yeah, let's do it. Skating birds. Great.
Well, then you know what, Brian? I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to love this next game. Here comes Skateboarding Birds in Skatebird. Let's check it out.
Skatebird.
Skatebird.
Skatebird. Wow, what a day. Well, that's all the time we have here on IGN Expo.
Wait,
I want to thank my hairstylist. I want to thank
Brian, hold on. Wait, are you insane, man? We're only halfway through. What are you doing?
Oh, wow. Well, this event is stacked with even more exclusive reveals and brand new trailers than I could have reasonably anticipated.
Clearly, and very well said, my friend. And we'll be right back with even more right after this break. So stick around and keep being part of our summer of gaming.
That's right. And I want to thank my agent. I want to thank my friends. I want to thank my uncle who taught me that wrestling isn't real. That made me mad when I was a kid, but I'm okay with it now. It only took about 60 years to get cool with that. But I want to thank the guy who cleaned the local pool when I was
IGN Summer of Gaming is powered by Duracell Optimum. All summer long, we're bringing you the game announcements, developer interviews, and all the demos you care about. So get comfortable and get ready to play. Upgrade your Xbox controller with Duracell Optimum batteries today.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
What's up everyone, Sydney here to bring you a little update about the future of IGN on YouTube. We've been listening to your feedback and it seems like some of you are more into games while others are more interested in movies and TV. So we got to thinking about it and decided, why not both? Our main channel will still bring you all the biggest news, reviews, previews, and trailers to keep you up to speed on the most important highlights. But if you only want games content 24/7, head over to IGN Games. Movies and TV more your thing? Check out IGN Movies and TV. More channels, more of the stuff you love, more IGN.
I want to thank DuckTales. I want to thank Anthony Franco's Pizzeria in Paramus, New Jersey. Really good, really garlic knots really is what a lot
Yes, that's right, Brian. Well, you know what? Welcome back. This is still the summer of gaming, and you found yourselves knee-deep in IGN Expo. Yes, we are jam-packed with some of the most unique games you'll see first right here on IGN.
Speaking of which, you know what I miss most during quarantine? Helping and moving friends. I just really love unpacking heavy crap and lifting it up in the air. And if you're a weirdo like me, then you probably get the sheer joy of games like Power Wash Simulator and Teardown. Well, keep an eye out in our next set of trailers for Unpacking, probably the best unpacking simulator made to date.
Sure, yeah. You know, there's also like a bunch of other trailers in there too, Brian.
I think they're going to be most excited about the Unpacking one, though.
Okay, you know, well, fine. Well, let's unpack all the trailers, not just the Unpacking one, right now.
Hi, and welcome to a very quick sneak peek look at 2 Point Campus.
If you're not familiar with 2 Point games, think fun simulation management with a very particular 2 Point twist.
In Campus, you'll get to design and run your very own university.
But rather than boring courses, we're giving you the opportunity to teach your students very unusual classes, like night school.
In this one, you'll be teaching your students heraldry, chivalry, jousting, and how to walk around in that really heavy armour.
Here we're building the training area for our prospective knights. We watched a ton of live streams of 2 Point Hospital, saw what people were vibing with, and we've added a ton of new creative tools for Campus that will let you build outside, create new buildings, landscape, and place trees and pathways.
Here you can see some of our night school students warming up with some practice dummies. If they can nail their classes, they'll get themselves straight A's. But if they don't have everything they need, great teachers, great equipment, and of course a great social life, they may fail.
It's just a super quick peek, but that's just a taste of what's to come in 2 Point Campus, which is out in 2022. If you sign up on our website at 2pointcampus.com, you can get yourself a free in-game item when the game launches. Lovely.
Hadouken!
Salve, friend.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are? I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Somebody in this city is about to break the golden rule.
Some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do.
Are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule?
How is it that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them? Salve, friend. I'm Galerius.
From a new dawn, a hero rises, torn between two worlds, yet part of none. It's your fate to free Nevendar. Disciples Liberation brings tactical turn-based battles into a dark fantasy strategy RPG. Find your place in a world of endless raging war between the four factions. Use your legacy to battle your foes, find loyal companions, and form a powerful army. Choices are what define us. Seize your destiny and liberate the land of Nevendar. Disciples Liberation. Coming soon to your PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
You just saw the trailers for Unpacking, Disciples Liberation, Unpacking, and before that was The Forgotten City, and also Unpacking.
Yeah, there's a lot of unpacking there. Now, Brian, you might remember our next game made waves when it was first announced 3 years ago, but we haven't heard a ton from the team lately. Now, with that said, the little fox who stars in this Zelda-ish indie title still looks just as cute.
Akeem, I am so excited about this one. Let's check in with Tunic.
Tunic has been a darling of the gaming scene for several years now, and that's been its one and only problem. It's been quite a while since we first saw it, and it's still not out yet. The same demo has been making the rounds for many moons, but one-man developer Andrew Schuldeis's absolutely adorable fox and his Zelda-like adventure is finally almost ready, and we got an exclusive hands-on with the all-new E3 2021 demo that's coming to your Xbox on June 15th. Here are 5 reasons why this charming fox needs to be on your radar. Tunic's old demo didn't really make it clear how challenging the combat can get. In the new demo, which includes a slice of the overworld as well as one dungeon, you'll encounter a number of different enemies after you find, in order, a stick, a sword, and then a shield. From simple blobs to laser turrets to a giant bone monster that, try as I might with every power-up I could find in the demo, like ice bombs and sticks of dynamite, I could not bring down. I presume I'll be more powerful later on in the full game to come back and conquer it, but the demo makes it clear that there are going to be places that you probably shouldn't go yet, no matter how tempted you are to get through the doors the toughest creatures are guarding. Speaking of which, who the heck is this fox? What is going on in this world? What does the in-game language mean, and will I ever be able to translate it? And why are there help screens in the world modeled after old school video game instruction manuals and strategy guides? I love the added sense of mystery and intrigue that Tunic brings that it absolutely doesn't need to. The gameplay would be just as fun and the presentation just as compelling without them, but they're there, and they make me want to play more to uncover the answers to those questions. Like any good Zelda-style game, there are secrets hiding all over the place if you look carefully enough. Shouldice very politely requested that I not spoil any of them for you before you have a chance to play the demo for yourself, so I'll just say this. Put yourself in a Zelda mindset, and you'll probably have some good ideas of where to look. Shouldice told me that there are 6 secret items hidden in the demo, which means there are certainly plenty more to discover in the full game as well. On this note, the new demo makes it pretty clear that you will not be completing Tunic in just one sitting. The one dungeon here has plenty of layers to it, and while you can save your progress at various shrines, doing so resets all the monsters, so there will be a constant tug of war between taking risks to progress and playing it safe. I do appreciate how there are environmental shortcuts that open up as you go, meaning that if you die, and believe me, you will die, respawning at the last save point means you won't have to walk as far or fight through everything all over again in order to get where you're going. But this world is clearly a big one, just like any Zelda-style game worth its salt. Finally, allow me to state the obvious. Tunic looks and sounds beautiful. The simplistic, colorful visuals lend Tunic a very playful visual tone, while the serene music adds a very pleasant, calming vibe to the gameplay. The combination of the two is fantastic. Tunic blends retro and modern in both the audio and visual departments in a way that gives it a wholly unique look and feel. I absolutely love it. And with that, I wholeheartedly recommend you play the Xbox demo yourself on June 15th, and after you do, I have little doubt that Tunic will not only ping on your upcoming game radar, but rocket up towards the top of your wish list in the process. While Shouldice still hasn't given a concrete release date for Tunic, there's more reason than ever to believe that 2021 is finally the year. For more on Tunic, don't miss more gameplay from the old demo, and for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.
IGN Expo is just reaching its peak, so don't go anywhere. Right now, we've got 6, count them, 6 fresh trailers loaded up like a blast cartridges in a laser pistol aimed at the heart of your boredom. Because I know y'all get bored. Yeah.
Wow, they shoot a laser pistol at the heart of boredom. That's an apt metaphor, Keem. It's also really dark and slightly messed up. Anyway, our first trailer involves a show I know everyone loves, Saint Ranger Things. Following the adventures of Saint Ranger, the only Texas Ranger to ever be sainted.
Well, Brian, actually, I'm gonna have to poke a couple of holes in your cloud here, my boy. It actually, that's a typo. It says Stranger Things.
Oh no, that's not a typo. I just can't read. Well, anyway, let's see what the Stranger Things or Saint Ranger Things team are doing in the world of Smite. Or Smitty.
party. Y'all don't want smoke. Energize the body. Raise up the yard right now. Get in the car right now. See the stars, I want it all right now. Just into the car, fighting no war right now. Getting with y'all, I'm in the store right now. Put your feet on the ground, look around. It's the siege and we back in your town, burning it down. You can give you what you been waiting for now. What you praying for? It's the type of you slaving for. You are now listening to the greatest. Right now, tell me who you are. Get in the car right now. We shitting on y'all, I'm in the store right now. Tell me who you are. Get in the car right now. For the stars, I want it all right now. Tell me who you are. Get in the car right now. For the stars, I want it all right now. How that feel when you get to the commas, right?
Now that was the new game, Battle of the Bands. Now I can't wait for that one. That's actually being produced in part by The Living Tombstone, and we've got an exclusive music video from those guys you can check out over on IGN's YouTube channel.
You know, if IGN Expo were a battle of the bands, this would be the brief window between when each band plays and you can go buy an overpriced drink and use the bathroom and make a pee-pee.
You know what? Fortunately, you can still watch ads in the bathroom from your phone or your laptops. So take it to the toilet, y'all. Summer of Gaming continues after this quick break.
Don't take your laptop to the toilet, y'all. Don't listen to Akeem. Don't do that. That's weird. Come on. Like, how important is your job? You're going to bring your laptop to the toilet? Come on. What do you
It's
work?
eBay. I'm trying to win something on eBay. It's an auction. Come on now. I'm trying to get a new NFT.
What are you trying to win the auction for? Grossest dude? Because you already won. Haha. Gotcha.
IGN Summer of Gaming 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance and Army National Guard. Pursue multiple paths while you serve. Reach your greatest potential with Army National Guard. And by the Amazon original movie, The Tomorrow War, exclusively on Prime Video July 2nd. And powered by Duracell Optimum, the official battery sponsor of Summer of Gaming 2021.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
Me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.
Competition brings out the best in all of us. Well, mostly.
Oh, that's a controller break.
That's unfortunate. Welcome to IGN Compete, where we bring you the stories behind the esports headlines.
World champions.
From the triumphs
Daryl takes the game
to the hardships
It's not heavy.
to the miracle moments that will go down in history.
I just can't believe it.
It's crazy. It's all here on IGN Compete.
God, I'm in disbelief.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to IGN Expo, part of IGN Summer of Gaming.
A whole summer of gaming, and we're dishing up hot trailers and plenty of them. Barbecue, summertime, sand, the beach, kissing under the boardwalk. All the summer stuff you love and crave that I just made up. But coming up next, we've got trailers for a Metroidvania puzzle game, a classic murder mystery, and a game where you finally get to fight Louis XVI's robot army. I hate them.
That's insane, man. You know, and we got many more on top of all of that. I mean, these developers are really, really freaking creative. Let's check them out.
That weird woman we saw when we played in the woods. She has a crooked nose with a yucky wart. It's just the long grey hair that makes her look old, but she's pretty young actually. She owns a black kitty. She built herself a shelter out of wood and pieces of old cloth. I think it was standing on a chicken leg. It's made of gingerbread chocolate candy and a lot of icing. Or bones. She cooks in a big black cauldron over the fire. Probably bats. Spiders. Mushrooms. She can always smell a child when it's close. You want to know if all of that was real? Well, even if it wasn't before, it certainly is now. Or did she have a hunting bow?
Sorrow resonates through the kingdoms. I can feel it in the air. A fermenting thirst for revenge.
We train, we fight, to push our limits. But what are yours when you have nothing to lose?
And so the sheep becomes the shepherd, culling them to this fool's paradise.
What do you dream of becoming, Soren?
The immortals of KOWLOON will stop at nothing to preserve their immortality.
Death makes no exceptions. Imagine what you could do if you were free from them.
You lack the conviction to do what is necessary.
Fate is not so easily broken.
Continue to feed into this cycle of death. Your light doesn't deserve to fade just yet.
You remember our deal, don't you?
The king left us no chance.
They were too many, too strong, and made of steel.
The fighting was too one-sided. We were slaughtered.
The machines wouldn't even let me flee.
Paris burns and is lost, short of a miracle.
Now, you just saw trailers for Blacktail, Black Skylands, Still Rising, and Unbound Worlds Apart. Now, you can actually play that last one, the demo, right now on your Nintendo Switch.
And it's all a part of IGN Expo here on IGN's Summer of Gaming. Brand new game trailers and reveals exclusively at IGN.
Yes, and in case 4 new game reveals wasn't enough for you, we have plenty more to come. And in the past, actually. That's right, y'all. Y'all need to understand. We're living in the middle of a vast time stream of trailers right now. Can you see them, Brian? Can you see the trailers? They're all around us right now, bro.
I can, Akeem, and that's because I hit my head earlier this morning. So yes, we've got 4 more game trailers to unveil, and we're going to do that without further ado while I make sure my friend Akeem here is okay.
Oh, yes, I see them, Brian. The trailers, they're everywhere.
Yeah, you definitely hit your head too.
Time is like gravity. We are constantly falling forward without noticing it. But then, it all stopped for me. Dear Journal, it's been a while. I think. And I am still unsure why I am talking to you when I am clearly the only one listening. I guess to keep some sanity. Well, you are still stuck. If you are starting to lose it, please don't. That's the only way we can get back. I'm counting on you.
Nanny?
Yes, Julia?
Mars is not here. So could I hear the story of the White Lady again?
But you always find that story scary.
Yes, Nanny. But I'm with you. So I know nothing can hurt me.
Oh, all right, little one. There was once a couple madly in love who would often stroll by a lake. But one day, in a fit of jealousy, the man drowned the young woman. Too much love brought death.
How can love also be so bad?
This is something you will learn with age, Poppet. The man confessed, so he was hanged in the middle of the very same lake where he had killed his beloved. They searched everywhere, but the girl's body was never found. Since then, the spirit of the girl, known as the White Lady, wanders restlessly in search of relief from her eternal suffering. Only the life of another young woman can give the lady a moment of peace.
That's always terrible to hear. I'll never get used to it.
You never get used to that kind of pain, my sparrow. But those in great pain can attempt to evoke the lady through a dark ritual and magic of the tarot. As the lady knows their suffering all too well, she could show them pity. Or she may not.
The catastrophe of 1986 was a great gift for humanity. One of the greatest.
What are you talking about?
I could tell you things that would turn your whole life upside down. But I don't want that. I can't have you falling apart. Don't you understand? I need you.
What are you saying?
I need you here. You're going to help me save her.
Igor.
Chernobylite opened a door to something that will change the history of mankind forever. Forever!
We can be together, Igor, but you have to learn the truth if you truly want to find me. You cannot succeed alone, but there are others who will help you. This is it, my love. The last stretch. You've been through so much for me. Make sure you're ready, because it will take everything you have. Your wits, your strength, your plan, your companion's loyalty, everything. Good luck, my love.
You know what? What a fantastic show full of great new games to look forward to. I'm hyped for each and every one of them. Now, we just saw new gameplay footage from Broken Pieces, Martha is Dead, Haunted Space, and Chernobylite. Now, I'm personally looking forward to Sifu, since Absolver was a really unique game.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm personally looking forward to Bramble because I have some deep-seated issues with my dad that I need to work out.
Yeah, you know, well, we really went for, I think we went for like all killer, no filler this year with these trailers, which means you barely had to hear from us two. So you're welcome for that. And don't forget, y'all, E3 coverage starts tomorrow.
That's right. And if you're just joining us, sorry you missed the entire show. Your clock is broken or something. Sort it out. But yes, Summer of Gaming continues tomorrow with the Ubisoft Forward Conference. So be sure to join us all as we break down the biggest reveals all E3 long.
Not to mention conferences from Square Enix, Xbox and Bethesda, and Nintendo Direct, all happening next week. So hit up IGN.com for a full schedule. The Summer of Gaming continues as long as there's gaming in your heart and Mario in your sunshine. Yeah.
That is really weird, but that was also sweet. I love you for that, Akeem. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. You're awesome, and goodbye.
Take care, y'all. IGN Summer of Gaming 2021 is presented by Army National Guard. Pursue multiple paths while you serve. Reach your greatest potential with Army National Guard. And by the Amazon original movie, The Tomorrow War. Exclusively on Prime Video July 2nd. And powered by Duracell Optimum, the official battery sponsor of Summer of Gaming 2021. And presented by USAA Insurance.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game, but what if you got a chance to peek into the mind of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work get completely destroyed right in front of them?
What is happening right now?
That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet. Tune in every Saturday for a brand new episode.
Competition brings out the best in all of us. Well, mostly.
Oh, that's a controller break.
That's unfortunate. Welcome to IGN Compete, where we bring you the stories behind the esports headlines.
Reigning world champions!
From the triumphs
Daryl takes the game
to the hardships
It's not heavy.
to the miracle moments that will go down in history.
I just can't believe it!
It's crazy. It's all here on IGN Compete.
God, I'm in disbelief!
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.